Okay. Cool. Well,
No, I nominate you to read the nomination.
you got it, man. I'm here and I am
Proud.
a camera operator. Austin, start the timer. We are talking about our first Best Picture nomination, American Fiction, directed by Cord Jefferson, starring Jeffrey Wright, Sterling K. Brown, and Erica Alexander.
I loved Sterling K. Brown in this film. He was fantastic.
It received 5 nominations this year
the guy
for
on the left?
Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor. It's his first Best Supporting Actor nomination. Best Adapted Screenplay, and Best Original Score.
I don't remember the score being that memorable.
I do. It was very jazzy. I
Really?
liked it. Yeah. I think it was blending in, again, it's culture, but modern, and it had a lot of interesting takes.
Okay.
But Carlos, start us off with ratings, then we'll go counterclockwise.
Okay. This is a great picture. It's a great commentary on a ton of stuff. Still though, we're talking about the Oscars. This is the big leagues. I think it sits somewhere at like an 8.5 for me. I'm at about an 8.5
Castro.
with him.
Yeah, this thing hits like a topic that I'm glad they shine the light on it.
Yeah.
I'll give it an 8.5 as well.
Austin?
I give it an 8.9.
8.9. Okay, so a little bit higher on the scale.
Good thing you know how to count. Thank you.
Yeah.
You used your fingers for that?
5.
Did you use your animal crackers for
Oh,
that?
yeah. Come on, Mr. Lion. We got to get through this.
By one leg,
I'm
now you got
gonna-
3 legs.
I'll split the difference and I'll say it's like an 8.7 for me.
Okay.
I liked it a lot. I think there's a lot to talk about, but I do think it had a lot of shortcomings, and I don't know if it's going to go up in rating. But yeah, 8.7 right now.
Okay.
How is this
I
an
will
adapted
say-
screenplay?
Oh, it's based off a book.
American
That's
Fiction,
what
I've
adapted.
heard of it for sure.
I will say, the interesting thing about this thing is a lot of films suffer from it.
Give us a quick summary of the film.
Okay, so American Fiction is about an author who is essentially teaching at a university. He's a published author, but his books aren't very popular. And he's always kind of compared to African-American authors who write a little more popular, either novels or kind of, they talk about more now subjects, more relevant subjects in terms of, like police brutality in terms of poverty in black communities.
Right.
And he's very relatable as a character, especially for us, because it's, he doesn't want to pander to that. He just wants to be a
Exactly.
good writer, period. But he stumbles in a drunken night of an adventure. He stumbles on, like, I'm just going to write something as a joke.
Dude, that scene was great.
That scene was terrific.
That was
Yeah.
fantastic.
And he writes a full-fledged novel where he becomes a bestseller ultimately, and he's struggling morally. Right, he's making a lot of money. He's getting his book sold for picture rights, winning awards under a pseudonym. So he's struggling morally on whether
what
he
was
should.
the name of the book?
The name of the book was Fuck.
And not PH.
Not PH.
Yeah.
Name of the book was
Straight
Fuck.
fuck.
What was it before Fuck? My apocryphy or something.
No,
like
wasn't
that?
it was something like-
Annihilation or
No,
something?
that was the director who was going to
Yeah.
make an adaptation
Yeah,
of
that was
okay,
yeah.
there you go. I was
No,
like,
it was
whoa.
my apothecary or my apocryphy or something.
my
something-
apocryphy
something
or
like
something.
that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But anyway, that was a pretty good title. But anyways, so that's essentially what the film's about. Through that, he goes through a bit of an arc with his family. His sister passes away, and suddenly, and he's left with his mom suffering with Alzheimer's and kind of dealing with that. A recent divorcee of a brother who discovers he's homosexual and is exploring that at the same time. Falls in
His
love with
arc
the
was
next
pretty
door
nice.
neighbor. It's a great thing,
His
man.
arc
It's a
was
great
nice.
little arc on all accounts. I think the thing about this film that I want to point out first is it had. I don't know if I should say this. I'm going to say it, and if we need to cut it out, Austin, you'll be
Yeah,
a
I'm
judge of it.
scared. I'm scared. Like,
This had horrible marketing. And the reason I'm scared to say that is because of the company that produced it. It had terrible marketing. I don't think this film was marketed well. I think people
thought it was
maybe
something else. or what?
maybe the studio was trying to be cheeky on like we're gonna market it this way because this is what he's adamantly against. I don't think they went that far, but I think it was pretty.
What do you
terrible.
mean? Like, how did they market
They
it?
marketed it like a Tyler Perry film. Think about that.
I don't remember that, but no.
Yeah, you didn't
not.
see like the trailers and stuff. That's what turned me off about watching it to begin with. I was like,
No, I went into it blind. Like I like it.
Okay, yeah.
No, but I mean, like when you go into any film blind, I think you're gonna get the best experience out of everything because you're just saying, "Give me whatever you want." I'm not gonna put any expectations. But I do agree that it was in a weird spot because again, this is trying to market itself as. Oh, it's so weird. It's trying to market itself as being like a true. I guess black
it's
story.
a black film. Yeah,
it's a true
black
like
film.
black story.
Yeah.
But then
So
the
when you see
whole
the trailers,
message,
it's that. It's like, yo, the writers are doing this, and then even the poster, it's creative. Don't get me wrong, but the outline of like the do rag on top of him and stuff like that. Maybe it was an alternate poster that I saw, but yeah, it didn't draw my attention in the slightest.
Yeah.
You know?
Thank God I didn't see that.
Yeah, no, it looked like it would be like a comedy, and then even in the trailer,
Like a
they
straight
had a
comedy.
moment of like, oh well, the FBI called, but don't worry, they're not gonna pursue. And it's like, wait, what do you mean they're pursuing me? And it's like, oh, but you didn't commit a crime, and then they cut to the cop scene.
That's the poster I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What is this?
it's
They
cut to the cop
but
scene.
it's
It's
not.
very
What is
clever,
this?
but it's not
Come
what
on.
it
Yeah.
is.
You know, so yeah, the marketing really bugged me about
but
this.
the movie was really solid.
Speaking to other cinephiles, just really quickly about the marketing,
ahead.
other cinephiles agreed with me. Like I have friends out there that like,
Saw that.
dude, I don't want to watch it. It looks really bad, and it's like, yeah, I agree. And then I watched, and I was like, marketing. It was the marketing, dude. It's actually a really good film. Like I would tell people because you shouldn't have to preach that for your film, you know. So yeah, I just think that turned people off in the initial thing. But let's get into the film. This
yeah.
I liked it, but
Yeah.
I'm really curious at what the reception was for it. Because obviously, it's
well,
a,
I mean,
it's a
what
touchy subject.
numbers what or what do you mean?
Like different.
I don't know in
People-
terms of critics.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
Just because of the subject that they're talking about, and the
It's-
wokeness of trying to.
I mean, that's also why it's like nominated for like Best Picture, and they were
Which I
campaigning
love, you're
because
right.
I feel like it's to get attention towards a film that's trying to speak beyond just like regular pop
Yeah.
culture cinema. Like
It's very relevant to all art too,
Yeah.
by the way, not just.
You don't think it's speaking to like a certain issue, like
Yeah, but it's like he says, it speaks to all art because when you, and I feel like we've all seen it, but when you go to places that have either like super, I don't know, like gritty, like art from people of color, something like that, and then the museum says like, see, we're giving voice and we're helping to inspire and all that. That's one of those things where it's like, okay, that's great that you want to like, you're like romanticizing the
I think so.
underprivileged communities, but then like all these communities at the end of the day just want to be recognized as good people and
Yep.
all that. And we've had that conversation.
That's why I
multiple
say
times,
I can relate directly with this character and why it relates with all art because we've sat with studios and we've pitched to big industry people and the big thing that comes out is, oh, you guys are Mexican from the border, right? So like let's talk about that.
Yeah, or
That's
let's lean into that.
Okay. And we have people have told us in the industry like lean into that.
Be
lean
more
into that.
Mexican.
Yeah, be more. Yeah, and it's like
Even I mean, I don't think it's too bad to say, but like people even say, "Oh, would you mind redoing this, but like in Spanish?"
yeah,
And,
legitimately.
like, to get a better audience.
Even for me,
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's,
so-
it's one of those weird bags, and I think a lot of communities deal with it.
Yeah.
It's super interesting to see the way that they played it out, and then
Exactly.
I love.
But I love the duality of it. I
Yeah,
love the
no, I love
duality
that
of
subject.
that this film showed. The duality of his character and Issa Rae. By the way, Issa Rae's character, she's terrific, man. Issa Rae is the other author who wrote the other book, that he's jealous of or whatever. I love her arc. And she's actually a writer. She created Blackish. She's actually a very talented,
right. I remember her.
Issa Rae,
Yeah, her.
and she was terrific in this. And her character also kind of showed like, this is what we got to do. This is what we're trying to do.
Her and him connected.
Yeah,
Where it was
they
like,
connected
that
in
was a horrible
that conversation,
Right.
right? But what I love about the duality is they're presenting themselves as this, and the white individuals are like, "Oh, tell us more about your life." and
That's what
about
I wanted
this."
to talk
Or,
about.
or like a lot
That's
of
what I want to
the
talk about.
Yeah, or like a lot of the sentences, like when they're pitching to the publisher, and they're like, "Oh, I like that title. It's very." And then it's like, oh, you mean black? And it's like, yeah, but I'm glad you said it.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
Dude,
yeah.
we've had these
Yeah.
conversations verbatim with industry people,
Yeah.
and that's why I say it just applies to all art. I've always just said, And we've had other people tell us this too. A lot of good people in the industry has reiterated this for us. And, you know, I always just like to say, I want to be a good storyteller that happens to be Mexican American.
Yeah.
You know, that's the goal.
Yes, that's the main thing, dude.
And it's weird because on that same fence, there's also the people that are at least I'll speak for our community.
Yeah.
There's also people that are like, no, I want to make Latino films
Right.
that are very much Latino films,
Yeah.
in your face Latino,
And more power to
yeah,
you.
beautiful.
No,
But-
and that's kind of what we see the duality here because
Yeah.
it's almost like you have to fight within your own community of like what's the voice that needs to be heard right now.
Yeah.
You know, like
That's
are
why I
we
like
are we
it.
going to be pushing for good like a good piece of art, or are we going to be pushing for something that opens up the community and
conversation.
more
So
into-
conversation
right?
opens up,
Yeah.
conversation.
And that's great, man. That's the thing that this film tackles the most. But I also want to get a little bit into the struggles he kind of goes through on the arc with the girl, with the woman he falls in love with from across the street.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty special. I think that's a pretty special arc.
I was gonna add on to that, like a lot of people are commenting in the film. They're commenting on how they love the book that he makes because it's so raw and so real. And I love the way that in the film, when you see his own personal struggles and how raw and real those things are,
And
that's
people are adamantly
like,
against him, right?
yeah, well, like how those are the real raw elements that a lot of people deal with in their daily lives, and it's not really talked about. Like in a family where you have somebody dealing with like Alzheimer's and all that, and then the conversations of like, well, are you going to pitch in financially? And it's like, oh, well, I'm struggling right now. It's like, well, we're all struggling, but how are we going to deal with
Oh, that was a
this?
tough
Or
one.
like
That was a tough one.
dealing with somebody who just passes away, or like, we have this dark side of our family that we really don't talk about.
I love that scene on
Yeah.
the beach, by the way.
Yeah.
Where they're like spreading the ashes. And I'm like, yo, Tim, shut the fuck up, Tim, or whatever the guy's
Yeah,
name
we're
is.
passing by.
Yeah,
Are
you've
those
always been
ashes?
Shut the fuck up, Tim.
You've always been a douchebag, Tim. Yeah, like
So great. No, I do want to touch a little bit on the relationship side of things because I
Right.
love it was a cool parallel between the family friend maid character.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
how she falls in love with the security guard character.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And like they get married and he starts to see like, oh man, this shit does really exist. Like
Yeah.
he wasn't really believing on the love factor. He was feeling that was getting away from him more and more. I think he was once divorced, if I'm not mistaken, the character.
yeah, he's divorced.
So
Yeah,
like
divorced.
so
they're
he-
all
yeah,
divorced.
yeah. So like just seeing that kind of like parallel and that arc for him, and even like seeing his brother, see that change in him. Like, oh, you're just like dad, but like dad didn't stick around. He fucking blew his brains out or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
I thought that was so special, man. I thought that was so special. That arc just for me, where he does find love and he does find connection, and ultimately we don't even know if he ends up with her at the end, right? Because he's a writer and he's making his own kind of judgments on what may or may not happen, and I think it's so good, man.
I kind of like the
can relate
brothers
to
art a little bit better.
it.
Yeah,
By the
we're
way,
at the
Sterling K.
end.
Brown, what have we seen him in? I know
he's
from
in,
another film.
This Is Us.
This Is Us.
That was a big thing he was
This
in.
is us?
Yeah, it was
was
an
a TV
ABC.
show, yeah.
It was an ABC like.
I feel like it was
network
another
show.
stuff though. What, Black Panther. He was the dad or the uncle in Black Panther.
Oh really?
The flashback scenes
Oh,
where they
yeah,
kill
yeah.
the.
No, but I've seen him something else, though.
Yeah. Well, what else has he
Big
been?
Man. No.
Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Oh yeah.
The Predator, with Andrew Brody. So he's
American
one of the
Crime Story.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, I feel like I saw him maybe in Black
He's
Panther
around.
right now, but he's good, man. He's
Criminal
really good.
Minds,
But yeah, it's his first Oscar nomination.
well deserved for sure.
Yeah, and he was talking about it the other day.
terrific.
Yeah, super.
What was his
excited.
arc? His arc was like he wasn't accepted till they finally like.
No, he was. He absolutely was. He just.
Well, I
if
guess the mom or the aunt didn't know.
No.
No, if anything, the mom knew and was like would call him names and stuff like that. I feel like his arc is just like,
But when they find him with like those two guys towards the end,
oh, that was just like how out of control his life is getting that it's affecting other people, right? You're supposed to be there to attend a wedding that you didn't even
Exactly.
plan to attend, and you just forgot on your coke bender
but
or whatever.
wasn't it like they finally saw that he was and he was comfortable with it?
Yeah, like they
I think-
accepted
yeah,
him.
Exactly.
That-
When the
them.
aunt, I forgot who is.
Well, like no, I don't think it was the homosexual thing as much as it was like, hey, you fucked up, but we still love you and we still want you to
Oh,
hang
okay,
out.
yeah,
like
yeah.
you want to stay for the party.
Exactly.
That was that. It was more like, it's all right. Don't worry about it. We'll clean up the mess. Do you want to stick around? I think it was just like that.
Oh,
like
that's
he
even
can
more
mess
beautiful.
up and like
more
because in
beautiful.
every other area of his life he messed up. Right? He's getting divorced. I think he mentioned like his kids hate him. He doesn't have money. He's a doctor and shit.
Yeah.
So it's like he's messing up in every area of his life. But in this scenario, he's trying to find happiness through love, and and freedom, right? He's finally being free sexually and physically and stuff like that. And then in his exploration for that, he's judged by it, right? Until there's finally some acceptance there, you know.
And what I love about his character is like he's lovable. He's not.
He's great. He's not.
Great,
Yeah. By the way, I also relate to this sibling dynamic a lot, man. I have one brother, I have one sister, and
You have a sister?
I do have a sister. Yeah,
never knew you had a
yeah.
sister.
And
In Arizona.
How's she doing?
married with 2 kids, Castor.
I said, how's she doing?
She actually has 4 kids.
Oh.
No, but
She could have a fifth.
she's coming to town next week, man. I'm gonna keep her away from me.
I'll be there.
And she looks like me, so take that for what it is.
All right.
All right.
Anyways, no, but I like the sister character is a lot like my sister. I'm kind of the brother character, and my brother is Jeffrey Wright's character.
Yeah.
That's kind of kind of a little bit of not anymore actually. My brother might be the brother character right now with his exploration and what he's doing. He's not gay or anything. He's just in Colombia chasing pussy. So like,
that's
it's
nice.
kind of similar.
Ain't
Yeah.
we all?
Aren't we all?
Good luck.
No, but essentially, I relate to that sibling dynamic a lot. I saw myself in this character a lot as a creative. I saw myself in the sibling thing, and the arc of dating somebody who kind of gets it. And is trying to get it, and you're just being an asshole because you're frustrated about other things. It's so good, man. It's just so good.
Dude, and then the whole, I need to wind down, but the dynamic of dating somebody outside your race, that's kind of an interesting topic where like everybody was mentioning like, oh, I'm so glad that, they're not white.
That's a very black thing, right? It's a very black thing, like kind of like the Jewish thing too, right? Like you don't marry outside your race, everything, and if you do, you're kind of judged on it.
Yeah, it's
because the brother's ex-wife was white, right? I think that was the part of the whole deal.
Mm-hmm. I think they're both of them were.
Oh, the
For
girls.
Yeah.
even for
for
him.
the
Oh,
two
you're right.
brothers.
Because they would say like, oh yeah, she was a white girl or whatever.
Yeah, it was like, oh, shut up, like.
When they were by the pool, that was a good scene.
You know what scene I really like? Oh, my bad.
Go ahead, no.
The scene where he goes to the library and he asks for the books for his.
He puts them on the front.
Yeah, but then he goes. It's an African American. It's like it's not.
It's not just
and
only
he's like,
African American.
well,
I
he's like
love
the-
it. Yeah,
like,
it's great. It's
That's
great.
what we need.
Okay, last thing I want to ask before we like start winding down, and if you want to ask something, but how did you guys feel about the movie thing?
Like the movie adaptation thing?
Like towards the end, kind of like everything
You're
already.
talking about the ending or always?
More the ending.
More the ending?
Because the
I
always
mean,
thing kind of just it's feeding
you know
into the
what?
same.
I feel okay. Even though this is talking about a writer, right?
Uh-huh.
This is being adapted into a movie, and a lot of times, I think for writers, a big like victory can be getting a movie adaptation of your book. Right?
Definitely, absolutely.
And
I mean, that's how he makes most of his money.
And then I feel like
He's
a lot of
selling 1.5 million for the film rights and shit like that. So yeah, I mean,
so I feel like in that it's almost like you can create a story. But then again, that whole element of other people getting involved and the pandering and all that kind of stuff, and the kind of people you have to suck up to.
Yeah.
Like this guy's making what is it called?
Which
The plantation annihilation. That's the person he has to suck up to.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that's the person he has to deal with. And then even when he's outside and seeing like a guy dressed in like the slave uniform, it's like
that
like,
casting
man.
was kind of perfect
That
too,
last
man.
one,
That
that
producer. All right.
all right.
All right. Well,
What was up with that last part, real quick?
With the studio thing?
No, with the guy dressed.
oh, it's just kind of like we're all doing what we got to do to get
That's
by.
what I took out of it.
Yeah, where
I
it's
even
kind
asked
of
myself like, well, he's getting out of that big meeting, but he's still doing that.
no, it's kind of like
Which part are we talking about?
at the very end of the film, he's leaving, and in front of the set of that plantation annihilation thing is a black guy
dressed as a slave.
Yeah, and it's kind of
It's
like
just
he just
like,
shot him peace sign like we're all doing
We gotta
what
do what we gotta do. Yeah,
exactly.
man. That's why I told you it was very reminiscent of the film we just finished.
Yeah.
It's kind of just like, fuck
is
it,
what it
that's
is.
life. It is what it is. Let's keep it pushing.
Last thing I'll ask, while Castro's trying to figure out whatever just happened, do you think that this is gonna get any awards?
Nope, not in the slightest. Sorry.
Okay, that's it.
What
Just-
do you think?
I don't think
better ones.
it's up for fight. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, there's
ultimately,
so many. I
it's
mean,
just it's
it's-
a damn good Oscar
Yeah, you
year.
know,
We should have opened up with that. It's a damn good Oscar year, and it's up against a lot of shit, man.
Yeah,
That's a pretty good way to put it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the only thing I'd probably put it for is
Actor maybe, but no. I'm sorry.
no. Actor was good.
By
but
the way, like
Exactly,
I
but
had
there's other
somebody,
ones
I had
better.
somebody tell me that, like, dude, I feel like he in every film he plays the same role. And then they told me like, but I saw this one, he was way different. I really agreed.
Who with
Jeffrey Wright. Like every
I've
other
seen him in
film.
Westworld, and he kind of has the same.
He did a couple Wes Anderson films that were really good.
He's been a big Wes Anderson thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
And he's good, but he does kind of play the same dude every
same
time.
dude,
But this
but
one, he
he's
was
good.
like
Yeah.
more of a good character. So
I'd say like I would like the best supporting just because it's his first nomination. It'd be kind of
oh,
nice.
it'd be
True.
great. It'd be
Like,
great.
yeah,
But he's
I'm
up
with you on
against
that.
Downey, man.
Yeah.
Best
Oh,
supporting
I know,
actor.
I know, but I'm just saying it's like really nice. That's his first like
Yeah,
Oscar
it's great.
nod. It's
It's
big
a-
for anybody. So yeah,
But unfortunately, Sterling, when you're up against Downey and Bobby De Niro, it's gonna be a tough
All
tall
right.
order.
Next
Moving
film.
right along.